Dr. Kabir has incisively laid out the issues and stake with respect to their emergence on how they come in. We are consolidating of that and we are having the same agreement. But in addition, the narrator or the reporter even mentioned in the earlier report that this group were known or unknown to the communities within the fringes of Sahara. And initially, there was a kind of invitational treat when some of these communities were having uncontrollable security challenges, like communities in Gudu local government, in Silame local government, and in Tangaza area. Community leaders actually made overtures to some of these people who initially came in aid of improving security in form of enhancing local enforcement and later religious intonations were introduced and later compensatory platform in form of taking commodities from the locals, in form of taxation, in form of enforcement or some strict variant of religious belief became part of it. And naturally it is expected that if you unwittingly invite elements from distant lands whose orientation and preferences are not really very known to you, only the pretentious outlook is the one that you need as a palliative intervention in your local circumstances, you will certainly lose control. Like a doctor said, these people originally came from the Sahel region. And the Sahel region has become the hotbed of insurgency in Africa or in West Africa, so to speak. We all know the issues surrounding the Sahel, as Doctor said. Our Sahelian first and the most intimate Sahelian neighbor, Niger, we've been together with them for more than 1,000 years of Nigeria history, regardless of the colonial invasion of Western Sudan, which is this part of West Africa. In spite of the colonial differentiation, we've been very much together with Niger for more than 1,000 years, so to speak. Of course, the majority of people in Niger, they speak our language. And we have the same religious platform, so to speak. So the inflow of persons from Sahel into the fringes of our country is a matter of serious concern. And lately, of course, as some scholars have put it, the fact that in recent time, arising from the political situation in Niger, it has been a little bit difficult for us to have a kind of smoothless security convergence activity, which in any case too provided the lacuna for the insurgents of the moment. The point is that the people are here, and it was easy, or it has been easy for them to get here because we have been very contiguous people, so to speak. And when they move around, it is difficult to really see them within the context of strangers completely, when it's strangers in quote, because we are somehow contiguous in terms of cultural affinity. And that is why our relationship with the Sahel must be treated on the first burner. The present trend, whereby most of the Sahelian states of Niger, Mali,
Chad,
and Burkina are moving towards different security direction and political direction, calls for concern. And in the interest of our national security strategy, we need to do a reboot of relationship, particularly with Niger. We need to reboot it for our strategic security interest, because the ravaging insurgents or elements in the Sahel are deeply playing the tough on Niger and Malian territory. If you look at the map of our West Africa, Niger is contiguous to Mali. Mali is contiguous to Burkina Faso. And then we even have one axis we call Le Pacto Goma, which is in the central part of the Sahel, whereby all elements of insurgents from different parts of the world, they really incubate there.
Le Pacto Goma.
Yes, Le Pacto Goma is the borderline that traverses the borderline of Niger, the borderline of Burkina Faso, and the borderline of Mali. It's a region, it's a regional enclave, Le Pacto Goma. I spell it, Le Pacto, L-I-P-A-T-A-K-O. Then hyphen, Goma, G-O-U-R-M-A. That is the epicenter of Sahelian insurgent breeding arena, which even these three countries are finding it difficult to really control or influence. And the fact too that these our strategic neighbors are francophone, and the influence of France in Africa has dwindled. In the sense their presence or cooperation with the francophone countries has dwindled. It makes the situation to be to be higher than we can really imagine. And it calls for concern. That is the area I believe that as a country, we need to have to reboot our perspective with respect to how we manage this our francophone neighbors, who of course are drifting, and their drifting is going to increase or create more ground for Sahelian insurgents to grow wider and become, and we are going to impact on us much more.
Okay.
So, for now, containment measures are necessary. While internal containment measures is apt, strategic engagement with our Sahelian neighbor as a country is even more relevant. Because if it is not done, the threat we face will come in more unmanageable perspective.
Okay.